Hey everybody, this is Off the Highway. I'm Tony Kriz, and that is Joshua Ryan Butler. Hello, Joshua.
Hello, good to be here.
Josh is the author of The Skeletons in God's Closet. It's a book about hell, judgment, and holy war. So, Josh, here's my
Everybody's
question
favorite
for you.
topics. Mhm.
Here's my question. If I could definitively prove to you that there is no afterlife, that when it's over, we're just over, right? Would you still follow the way of Jesus?
Mm. That is a good question. I can honestly say that I don't know. Or to be completely honest, but I can process out loud, I suppose.
That'd be
On
great.
the one hand, there's the part of you that goes, even if that were true, there's still something in me that longs for. I've come to find the gospel to be the most beautiful story for the world I can imagine. And so there's a part of me that would want to almost existentially, in spite of all appearances, in spite of all odds, to still live and believe as if that story were true. I believe that the gospel it gives rise to the most meaningful life I can imagine, even if there's sort of a death to yourself and a sacrifice, that there's actually life found there. But on the flip side, part of the reason I believe that actually works is because it is true. Even when at times to all appearances it appears that it's not, I think it's kind of built into the fabric and structure of the cosmos, of reality, that the gospel is the reality of the universe, and so when we live into it, it does that. So if it could actually be definitively proven, and if that was not actually true, if that was not actually the case, I don't know that I would still have that same connection that I currently have internally, because the reality I believe it's connected to is untrue. And I think of when Paul in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 15 says, if the resurrection is not truly true, if it's not real, if we're dead in our sins, then we are the biggest of all fools, in a sense that there's a sense of it's foolishness that we would give our lives to this thing when the reality ultimately that justifies it is a farce or a sham or a facade. And so that side of me leans into kind of going, yeah, it would probably be best to just sort of selfishly, I don't know, to live for myself or whatever. But then that seems really dark and depressing and nihilistic, and I don't know. So that's me just kind of processing out loud, I guess. Fortunately, I think it's fortunately I do believe it's true, and so I think the internal experience is justified by the external reality of God's universe.
Yeah, as when I observe sort of recent church history, and I know that this is a bit of a caricature, but it seems like for so long people lived as if the gospel only applied to the afterlife
Mm.
and didn't apply here. And one of the changes I think that's happening in our generation is we're trying, at least among evangelicals and some others, so we're trying to expand the conversation. Go, no, the gospel is just as much about what's happening here, in the here and now, as it is in the what is coming, the afterlife.
Mm.
And in light of that, if it was okay sort of to follow Jesus when it was just about the afterlife, on some level, I have to wonder if it's also would be okay if it's just about the here and now. But like you said, maybe we don't even have to answer that question, right?
Well, it is a good point, going like, because I fully believe really of heaven breaking into earth, that God's kingdom here and now, and that gets back to the whole piece. I feel like this is the most beautiful reality. It's more beautiful than anything I could come up with on my own. If it's not actually true, I do struggle with going, am I living a farce? Is that actually the way I want to live? But yeah, it's a good provocative question to think through.
Great thoughts, Josh. Appreciate it. That is Joshua Ryan Butler, author of Skeletons in God's Closet. Thanks, Joshua.
Thanks so much.